Hey, how's it going? It's a beautiful, kind of overcasty, which is nice. Sunday afternoon, it's about 3 o'clock. I'm out wandering around. I think I'm gonna go jump on the BTS. I'm here on Soi 26 in Phrom Phong. I'm gonna jump on the BTS and head up a couple of stops to Eager Expat to the Home Pro. I need to go into the hardware store and check on a couple of things. Right here by my condos, the Golf Swing Academy. I assume it's one of those digital deals where they check on your swing. That's about the last thing I need. There's a driving range up at Eager Expat right by the BTS. I might go up there and knock a few balls around, but yeah, I'm not a big golf guy. Here's the region on the park one. Tucked away in the trees, beautiful building, but it's fairly expensive. When I was checking around Phrom Phong, I just saw some very high rates. There's a little coffee shop next to it. Cozy cafe and bar. And this right here where it says kitty care, up that little street, is a pretty nice couple of buildings. Oh shoot, I'm drawing a blank. You can see it right there, a little 6-story building. Let me walk up there and get the name. I actually saw a nice, it was smaller, 35 square meter, 1 bedroom, but at least it was a separate 1 bedroom, had a separate wall and all. And it was about 16,000 baht. Now this is 2023, so everything, of course, is gonna go up in price. Oh, I remember the name now. It's the Dwell on 26. Not super close to the BTS, but less than a 10-minute walk, probably 8 minutes. It's about the same distance as my condo, and it's a nice, easy walk to the BTS. Most of the condos, I'm not even sure if mine does, I've never rode it, have what just passed a little tuk-tuk to race you down there, or you can take a 20 baht motorbike. I just walk it. It takes 6 or 7 minutes, and it's a nice little walk through the neighborhood. You just gotta decide on what works for you, and for me, I got this large size, I don't even know, I think it's almost 60 square foot, 1 bedroom. So I'm trading off the size for living exactly on the train line in a 31 square foot condo. Now here's the Krom building on Soi 26. Smaller units, high price, but a newer fancy building. Here's the story building. I think these are serviced apartments. So almost 21,000 a month, which just kind of looks like a studio, a notch above a hotel room. But if you're not signing a 12-month lease, this story is in a great part of town. Right, not even a block away from one of my favorite little spots, Queen Bee. Good music, good drinks, good conversation, and you're close to Phrom Phong BTS. I was talking to a guy at the meetup last night who's paying $850 US a month for a long-term Airbnb. So that sounded a bit high, but I guess, you know, it's going to come at a price with Airbnb. Don't be afraid to negotiate. Send a message, especially if you're spending 30 plus days, which is the legal limit. You're really not supposed to be doing Airbnb for a week or so, but I don't think it's the crime of the century. What the problem is a lot of the buildings are now installing fingerprint readers or face recognition, and some of the Airbnb hosts might do something a little goofy, like hand you a keypad with their fingerprint on it, and they want you to rub that up against the machine. Again, the people in the lobby, they're going to see you coming and going, so that's a little bit sketchy. But staying over 30 days, definitely not a problem. You'll get listed in as a legal resident, and don't be afraid to negotiate, especially if you're going to stay 60 or 90 days. Yeah, I would offer them 200 bucks a month less and see what they come back with. You'll probably save yourself some money. And I walk by this little nondescript building. It's just 6 stories high, but it's all barbed wired up with CCTV. And then across the way, this is all pretty secure with cameras as well. So I'm not sure what's going on. There's all kinds of smaller little consulates and embassies that aren't marked all over town, but maybe this is just a business, I'm not sure. Now right on Sukhumvit here on Soi 26 is the Noble Refine, and right next door the Estelle. Both beautiful high rises, but I think I saw studios at Noble Refine, this building. I think I saw a studio for 24,000 baht asking. So you're gonna pay the closer you get to Sukhumvit and the train and the fancier, newer buildings. It's all what you want. If you want to live in one of these fancy, brand new, everything's gold and polished buildings, yeah, it's gonna come at a price. Myself, I'm living in an older building. It's still nice and clean and maintained, beautiful pool, small gym, and it's a fraction of the cost. It's just I have to walk back 4 blocks. Not a big deal at all. And this is looking down from the train platform onto the little side street next to Soi 39. I believe it's 39 and a half. Some good food options. There's a little health clinic right there called the Pulse Clinic on the left side. If you got a little food poisoning or something you want to knock out quick, that's probably a good place to go in and see if it meets your needs. I also see a Lawson drugstore right across the street. I'm sure that's not a coincidence, right next to the clinic, but you can even go into the Lawson, just explain you're having a bit of food poisoning or whatever it is, and they'll hook you up. You don't need to necessarily see a doctor, but if you need something a little stronger, yeah, those clinics are all over town. There's another one called the Wellness Clinic, which is up by Asok, kind of on the Soy Cowboy side, so that's another option. And I made my way 2 stops from Prampong to Thong Lo. Now I'm here at Ekamai. 25 baht on the BTS, and the Home Pro is hooked right to the BTS station. And of course I came out the wrong exit, but this little walkway here takes you from the BTS straight into the Gateway Shopping Center. You'll find the Home Pro and an office mate down in the basement for all those needs. And if you want to swing those golf clubs, right when you get off Ekamai, walk up not even 2 blocks, and on the right you can't miss it. In fact, yeah, you can just barely see the fence of the driving range. It's one of them 2-story deals. And here's the inside of the Gateway. You'll find all kinds of food options. A lot of good Japanese and Korean food in this Ekamai area. Plus, you'll find some Western junk food options. Dunkin' Donuts, Dairy Queen. And here's where I'm heading, the Home Pro. It's kind of the best thing you're gonna find compared to a Home Depot or a Lowe's over here. You're not gonna get sheets of plywood or 3-inch ABS pipe. You'll have to go to a lumber store for the plywood and a plumbing store for any big, huge plumbing needs. But basic electrical, basic plumbing, I'm sure you could hook up a toilet with everything you find here in the Home Pro, no problem. Now this is a little bit smaller one here in Ekamai. I believe it's Plonchit. It's a big 4-story number with couches and mattresses, beds. I'm just looking for a shower rod. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, to see if it'll hold my clothes outside on my little patio to dry. Yeah, basic electrical, you wanna hook up a light switch, all that kind of thing is here. But the big, huge Home Pro in Plonchit, that is kind of a fun place to get lost in once in a while. Oh, here's a little clothes rack. I didn't even think about this. This might actually be better than trying to use a shower rod that's probably gonna fall down. Now I've stayed or lived in over a dozen, maybe way more than a dozen condos, and I've never had a dryer. Always a washing machine, but then you have to hang your clothes out to dry. And once again, they're gonna have plenty of items here to do some basic jobs, but for specialty items you're going to have to go to a plumbing store or an electrical place. Small appliances, paint, you'll find it all in here. Here's door locks. And there's a Boots pharmacy. Boots and Lawson, you'll find them all over town. Yeah, so I'm going to pass on trying to see if a shower rod will work and just get me a clothesline or whatever it's called, hanging clothes deal. And here's some of the Japanese options. Nothing fancy, but definitely a step up from fast food. This Japanese bakery looks super popular. They don't have a traditional food court. This is more just a shopping center rather than a big mall. But there's plenty of affordable options, maybe a dozen of these little stalls. And they have a max value Smaller size shopping market, but you'll find everything you need in there. And sometimes I'll grab some of these pre-made meals, 15 baht for rice and just whatever. Pad krapao, whatever you want. Nice to have in the fridge at midnight sometimes. And down in the basement you'll find the Office Mate. There's no Staples or any other stores that I've seen, but you'll find these Office Mate all over town. I just bought myself a chair in the one over on Rama 4. Yeah, if you need a ream of paper, this is the place to come. Ducked in for a fast chicken bowl, 115 baht. And somebody from the royal family just brought traffic to a complete stop, heading to the Wat right here next to Ekamai on this Sunday evening. All of a sudden, policemen appeared out of nowhere, even up on the BTS here, kind of yelling at everybody, put your cameras away, no photos, no photos. So I got my clothesline. Now we're gonna head back towards Prompong. Yeah, that was something else. They just kind of Secret Service kind of guys in suits came out of nowhere. Now this is overlooking the Wat, whoever the dignitary was heading to. You could just take a photo straight down in. So they just started yelling at everybody, no cameras, no cameras. And then down on the street, police just came out of nowhere. Let's see, they're still there, I think, waiting for the official probably to leave, and just brought traffic to a stop. So I'm back up in Prompong. So that was kind of cool. I don't know who it was. Somebody said it was a member of the royal family. It was a string of Mercedes, maybe 6 of them, bunch of police cars, but more importantly, they knew exactly the route they were going to take, and they had police officers in plain clothes standing by just to keep an eye on the spectators. It's about 6 p.m. I just took the extra 10 or 15 minutes and walked over and dropped off my clothesline box. Felt like I was walking around the streets of Bangkok holding a surfboard. Now I'm going to head back out and figure out where I'm going to go. Probably a nice cold pine will be involved. And Sukhumvit's starting to come alive, 6:30 on this Sunday evening. O'Shea's actually a little quiet on this Sunday evening. I just talked to one of my my waitress friends, and she told me they had UFC early this morning, so it was packed for the UFC. Me, I was probably still asleep. So I've been in here many times for the Celtics in the Scottish Premier League. This is their home bar here on Soi 33.5 in Prompong. Those guys party, usually a band watching the game. Comes on at, I want to say, like 10 o'clock at night, so it's a perfect party opportunity. I really appreciate you checking out my little walk around Bangkok, and consider subscribing for more looks around this town. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.